I want you to hear me out. Whether you're on the left or whether you're a hardcore MAGA Republican, can anyone in the comments point to another 80-year-old that is so demonstrably whiny on a day-to-day basis? And I know that going over his Truth Social post may be low-hanging fruit, but this is the president-elect, and I'd like to cover a few things that he said today, because this dude is whining about Jimmy Carter. He's whining about Liz Cheney, and he's still doubling down on his lie that an illegal immigrant committed the terrorist attack in New Orleans on January 1st. It's just incredibly whiny, and again, it might be low-hanging fruit to cover this. I've covered hundreds of Trump Truth Social posts, but when you're the president-elect of the United States, you have a level of gravity to your words. You can't continue to use this nonsensical, exaggerated language, but he's still tweeting like he lost the election. This dude is so mad that he's posting like he lost the election, and I'd like to jump into a few of these posts. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. But first, I'd like to show you this video from friend of the show, Adam Kahn. I've been addicted to his videos. The link will be in the description. Just take a listen.
Trump and Biden have each served one term now, so let's compare their records. Both men came into office with majorities in Congress, but despite having a slightly better split than Joe, Donald got a lot less done. The only pillar of his agenda that was actually signed into law was tax cuts. Outside of that, he also signed criminal justice reform, along with COVID stimulus that had broad support from both parties. Getting a third round of that stimulus was actually at the top of Biden's agenda, but when it was his turn, not a single Republican voted yes. Nonetheless, the bill passed, and it was only the first of many, including the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS Act, and the PACT Act, investing trillions into American manufacturing and infrastructure while slashing healthcare costs and taking care of veterans. All promises Trump ran on but was unable to deliver. Although there is a silver lining for MAGA, a lot of these policies will really take effect over the next few years, giving Trump an easy opening to take credit and distracting from the reality. Executive orders come and go, but legislation outlives presidencies, and in that regard, it's crystal clear who's done.
It's going to be so incredibly painful to watch Trump sit back and take credit for Biden's economic accomplishments, and I'll break this down more, but I'd like to jump over to Trump's Truth Social post and provide some actual political analysis on why this dude posts this way. Because yes, it is very easy to just go, oh, he's so crazy, look how deranged and unhinged he is. And of course, he is deranged, but there's actually a little bit of strategy hidden behind his posts. And if you doubt that, if you think I'm making that up, then do you guys remember this video that came out a few months ago where Trump is very clearly dictating to his team what he wants these posts to say? He says, this post, this word should be capitalized. Don't capitalize that word. I used to think 5 years ago he was just raging and typing these with his own fingers, but no, these are all intentional political messages, and I'm going to break down what he's trying to do. But first, just a few hours ago he said, the Democrats are all giddy about our magnificent American flag potentially being at half-mast during my inauguration. Dude, the same American flag that January 6ers beat an officer with? He then said, they think it's so great and are so happy about it because, in actuality, they don't love our country. They only think about themselves. Look at what they've done to our once great America over the past 4 years. It's a total mess. In any event, because of the death of President Jimmy Carter, the flag may, for the first time ever during an inauguration of a future president, be at half-mast. Nobody wants to see this, and no American can be happy about it. Let's see how it plays out. Make America great again, he said. And dude, please, since when does Trump care about upholding the precedents that have existed since the inception of America? He says right here, he says, they only think about themselves. This will be happening for the first time ever during an inauguration. I'm sorry, for the first time ever in 2020/2021, you didn't show up to the inauguration. That is unprecedented. You never even conceded the election. That is unprecedented. You sent a mob to the Capitol, but I don't even care about the mob. I care about the fake slate of electors that him, John Eastman, and these other people crafted just days before the certification. So please do not talk about something being unprecedented when we're about to have the most unprecedented 4 years ever. He also made a post about Liz Cheney, but before I read it, again, we all do know that Trump is deranged, but when he's crafting these posts, he's trying to hit emotional triggers among his fan base. He tries to hit a few things. He tries to hit the grievances that his fan base has, the fear. He's always trying to sow fear, and he's always trying to appeal to the sense of betrayal. And I don't want to say that it works, but it works. He won the election through these absolutely insane posts, and partially because of global inflation. But when he appeals to these grievances, it seems to work to some extent because a lot of people are unhappy with our institutions. He ran as the anti-status quo president. He ran as a president who's going to come up and shake up the system. And to be 100% honest, Kamala Harris did just represent the status quo. Kamala Harris was tied to the Biden administration in a way that she didn't effectively push back against. She had a few opportunities to push back and say, I have a way different vision than Biden, but she didn't quite do that. And that allowed Trump to take this opening of being the anti-establishment candidate who's going to shake things up. So when we read these posts, we have to understand that most Republicans want the establishment to be shaken up. We are absolutely terrified by the idea of Trump taking over the Republican Party as he has, but many Republicans actually think that's the direction the Republican Party needs to go. So let's read this post about Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney. It's even crazier. He said, Biden gave Liz Cheney a medal yesterday, even though she has proven to be totally corrupt. She, Benny Thompson, and the rest of the unselect committee destroyed and deleted all evidence from their crooked investigation of January 6th. Cheney has a distinction of losing her congressional seat by the largest margin in history. The people of Wyoming understood how bad for our country she was, how bad she was just one congresswoman. But Biden rewarded her only because she hated Trump. She's a warmonger of low intelligence. All she wants to do is kill people in endless wars with no gain other than to defense companies. Liz Cheney, crying Adam Kinzinger, Benny Thompson, and the rest of these dishonest thugs have gotten away with horrible things under the pretense of January 6th. Nancy Pelosi refused to accept the help which was offered for security. Again, Trump had ultimate authority over the National Guard, not the Speaker of the House. She is responsible and admitted as much, all for all to see on her daughter's tape. They have destroyed the lives of many people, make America great again. So Donald Trump is absolutely going to go after his political opponents. Some people said that he was going to drop it, he was going to forget about it. He is not forgetting about Adam Kinzinger, about Liz Cheney, and I think the onus is going to be on us over the next 4 years to do a bunch of research. I've done a bunch of research about January 6th, but I'm going to start doing more live streams. Leave a like and let me know in the comments if you want me to do more live streams where we just go over the January 6th report, because the waters are going to become muddied by Trump supporters, by the investigatory committees that Trump creates. Trump is going to create a bunch of select committees of his own to investigate Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, not because they deserve it, but because it muddies the waters. It floods the zone. And this goes back to Trump's entire strategy of sending out these wild posts. He's trying to flood the zone, muddy the waters, and confuse people. If he can always position himself as the victim or as the underdog fighting against the overwhelming odds, whether it's the fake news media or the deep state, then I guess that appeals to Republicans who feel like they've been wronged. He also constantly exaggerates. Everything has to be the biggest or the most corrupt. And again, it's a strategy. It amps up the emotional stakes. And just to take a step back, I'm not trying to sane wash Trump here. If you guys think I'm trying to sane wash Trump, then you're wrong. I'm trying to provide political analysis beyond just, he's so crazy, why does he post this crazy stuff? There's no reason. There is a reason. He posts this to harp on a few things: the victimization, exaggeration, misdirection. He often deflects criticism by pointing fingers at others, like he's blaming January 6th here on Nancy Pelosi. It's almost like he's acknowledging that January 6th was a terrible, dark day for our country. It was a shit show, but then he's saying Nancy Pelosi refused to accept the help. Dude, you were the president of the United States. This is like the manager of a company. It's like the CEO of a company having the worst day of the company's life and him not doing anything and then blaming it on the people beneath you. You can't blame the things going wrong on the people beneath you when you are the leader. So beyond the misdirection and the exaggeration, there's this phrase, just flooding the zone. If he can flood the zone with BS, with chaotic posts, then he can confuse people enough to make our message watered down. So bringing it back, the onus is on us over the next 4 years to relentlessly be pushing back, telling the truth about January 6th, reminding people that Trump lied about election fraud. He lies, and we can't allow him to dominate the conversation or the narrative. Now, you guys will be happy to know I'm working on some big projects behind the scenes, working on some huge projects out here in Chicago to make sure that the Democratic Party and our media ecosystem is ready by January 20th. It's going to be an absolutely chaotic 4 years. We just have to make sure we make it through the first 2 before the midterms, and we do that by pushing back relentlessly against their lies. And all I need from you guys is to just comment some blue hearts, drop a like, and just stick around while I get this set up, while I'm only posting 1 or 2 videos a day, because I'm moving, I'm setting up a studio, all of this stuff. It's going to happen. We're going to execute on it all, and we are going to push back. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video, and peace out.